Here's a jaw-dropping statistic to start with. BRICS, the economic bloc made up of Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, currently represents about 40% of the world's population and over 31.5% of global GDP. That's more than the G7 countries combined. But here's the real kicker. Some are now wondering if North America, yes, you heard that right, could ever join this powerful alliance. Could this be a game changer in global geopolitics? BRICS has been making waves lately, with its 2023 expansion bringing in major players like Saudi Arabia, Iran and Argentina. The bloc is becoming more influential on the world stage. As economic power shifts away from the West, BRICS is increasingly seen as a counterweight to US and European influence. But the question remains, could a North American country like Canada or even the US ever make the leap to join BRICS? First, we have to look at the economic interests of North America, specifically the United States and Canada. BRICS, as we know it, has positioned itself as an alternative to Western-led financial institutions like the IMF and World Bank. They even have their own development bank, and some members have proposed the creation of a new BRICS currency to challenge the dominance of the US dollar. Now, here's where it gets interesting. For North America, particularly the US, to join BRICS, it would mean compromising their own economic leverage, something that the dollar's dominance has afforded them for decades. While it sounds unlikely, some argue that as the world becomes more multipolar, it might not be so crazy after all. Let's not forget the political angle. BRICS is often seen as anti-Western, or at least a platform for nations like China and Russia to push back against US global dominance. For the US to align with BRICS would require a huge political about-face. In fact, according to Jake Sullivan, the US National Security Advisor, BRICS isn't seen as a direct geopolitical rival because their interests are so different. However, things can change. Take Argentina, a country in the Americas that recently joined BRICS, signaling that even Western-aligned nations can see value in the alliance. But the US and Canada, with their strong ties to NATO and the G7, would face serious political obstacles if they even considered it. Here's where things get really thought-provoking. Could North America actually benefit from closer ties to BRICS? The geopolitical landscape is rapidly shifting, with growing tensions between the West and countries like China and Russia. BRICS, which initially started as an economic group, has evolved into a platform where global South countries can discuss issues like energy, infrastructure, and even military cooperation. Some argue that as the world becomes increasingly divided, North America could benefit from building bridges rather than burning them. After all, countries like India and Brazil, who have a foot in both the Western and BRICS camps, are successfully navigating these waters. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. The likelihood of North America joining BRICS is slim for now. The US has too much at stake in its current global leadership position. However, Canada, with its more independent foreign policy approach, might find a place in BRICS more plausible, especially as it looks to diversify its trade relationships beyond just the US. That said, BRICS itself isn't without its challenges. Internal economic differences between its members remain significant. Some members, like China, would like BRICS to become a G7 alternative, but others, such as South Africa, stress that BRICS is first and foremost an economic alliance, not a political one. So could North America ever join BRICS? For now, it's a fascinating thought experiment rather than a realistic possibility. The US and Canada would need to weigh the economic and political costs carefully. But as global power continues to shift, who knows? In a decade or two, we could be looking at a very different global order, where old alliances fade and new ones emerge. What do you think? Could North America ever align itself with BRICS? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's continue the conversation.